Good evening, Honorable Chairman Professor B.P. Singh in absentia, Honorable Senior Professor Ajay Kumar Singh, Sir, respected Director Professor Dr. Mahesh Sharma Sir, distinguished session speakers, esteemed faculty members, and my dear fellow students. I, Khushi Sharma, student of BBA 5th semester, welcomes you all with great pleasure and pride to this 35th online interactive session organized by the Delhi School of Professional Studies and Research, an institution committed to academic excellence and leadership development. Today, we all are gathered for another amazing interaction session where we will learn, seek, and adapt many skills and things which will help us to be a better person professionally. At DSPSR, we believe in creating opportunities that bridge the gap between academic learning and real world corporate insights. Today's session, Leadership Development, is a testament to that mission. We are confident that the session will empower each one of you with valuable insights and practical strategies to grow as professionals and leaders. DSPSR faculty and students are delighted to have Mr. Srinivasa Rao Kunchala sir, a session speaker, and Mr. Anubhav Mishra, a moderator, joining us today to share their insights and experiences. We welcome you, sir. Before moving
Thank you.
further, we should proceed with the lighting of the virtual lamp, a tradition that symbolizes the dispelling of darkness and the awakening of knowledge. May the light of learning continue to guide us on the path to growth and leadership. Now I request Arun sir to play the video. Thank you, sir. I am truly honored and privileged to have the opportunity to address such a distinguished speaker. I extend a heartfelt welcome to our esteemed session speaker, Mr. Srinivasa Rao Kunchala, sir. Sir, thank you once again for joining us today. Srinivasa Rao Kunchala, sir, is a seasoned global delivery leader with over 29 years of expertise in enterprise technology, ERP, and strategic program management. A certified independent director, he had successfully led large-scale digital transformation initiatives and managed high-performing global teams. In his previous role, Srini had P&L responsibility for professionals across international delivery centers. His leadership in executing over 20 major transformation programs across North America of this 35th online interactive session. Mr.
Is the
Anubhav
voice
Mishra,
breaking?
Anubhav Mishra is a dynamic and driving BBA
Kushi,
student
your
at
voice
Delhi
is
School of
breaking.
Professional Studies and Research, consistently excelling academically with a GPA above 8.3.
Ishita, may I make a request, please?
Sorry, sir.
Ishita, may I
Yes,
make a
sir.
request, please?
Sir.
You have a profile, you have his profile, right? Because you would have got it.
Yes, sir.
Can you read it slowly and legibly so that everybody understands what
Yeah,
he
yes,
has
sir.
done and from which background he is coming? And Kushi can go on mute. It is a request.
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, now you're fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, Honorable Chairman Professor B.P. Singh, sir. In absentia, Honorable Senior Professor Ajay Kumar Singh, sir. Respected Director Professor Dr. Mahesh Sharma, sir. Distinguished session speakers, esteemed faculty members, and my dear fellow students. I, Ishita Kashyap, Assistant Professor at Delhi School of Professional Studies and Research, welcome you all with great pleasure and pride to this 31st online interactive session organized by the Delhi School of Professional Studies and Research, an institution committed to academic excellence and leadership development. Today, we all gather for another amazing interaction session where we all learn, seek, and adapt many skills and things which will help us to be a better person professionally. At DSPSA, We believe in creating opportunities that bridge the gap between academic learning and real world corporate insights. Today's session, Leadership Development, is a testament to that mission. We are confident that this session will empower each one of you with valuable insights and practical strategies to grow as a professional and leaders. DSPSR faculty and students are delighted to have Mr. Srinivasa Rao Kunchala sir, a session speaker, and Mr. Anubhav Mishra as a moderator, joining us today to share their insights and experiences. I am truly honored and privileged to have the opportunity to address such a distinguished speaker. I extend a heartfelt welcome to our esteemed session speaker, Mr. Srinivasa Rao Kunchala sir. Sir, thank you once again for joining us today. We are absolutely thrilled and deeply grateful to have you with us.
It's not a
We
problem.
welcome you,
Thank
sir.
you. Yeah.
Srinivasa Kunchala sir is a seasoned global delivery leader with over 29 years of experience or expertise in enterprises technology, ERP and strategic program management, a certified independent director. He has successfully led large-scale digital transformation initiative and managed high-performing global teams. In his previous role, Srinivas sir held P&L responsibility for a $250 million portfolio, overseeing 4,000 plus professionals across international delivery centers. His leadership in executing over 20 major transformation programs across North America, Europe, Japan, and India has built a strong stakeholder trust across sales, finance, legal, and vendor functions. Currently, Mr. Srinivasa sir focused on advising organizations on scaling global delivery models, enterprise transformation, and operational governance. Birla Soft Limited, HCL Technology, Tech Mahindra, Saint Gobain, Glass, and Madras Cements Limited are some of the companies he has worked for in the past across multiple cities in India, Japan, Europe, and North America. We again warm welcome you, sir. It
Thank
is
you.
my great pleasure to extend a warm welcome to moderator of this 35th online interactive session, Mr. Anubhav Mishra. We welcome you, Anubhav. Anubhav Mishra is a dynamic and driven BBA student at Delhi School of Professional Studies and Research, GGS University, consistently excelling academically with CGPA above 8.0, with a strong foundation in commerce and a passion for leadership. Anubhav has actively contributed to student life through key roles such as Secretary of the Rotaract Club, TSPSR, where he has led impactful social initiatives and inter-college collaboration. He brings a well-rounded skill set in communication, strategic planning, public speaking, and team management, supported by certifications in leadership, financial literacy, and e-business. His previous roles as a joint director of the editorial department and class representative reflect his commitment to organization, coordination, and student advocacy. Your valuable presence adds great strength to today's event and to all our participants joining us from different places, eager to learn and grow. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speaker, our respected faculty members, and most importantly, all our participants. Your presence here reflects your commitment to learning and personal growth. Let us make this 1 hour a truly enriching experience. Now, I would like to hand over this session to Mr. Anubhav Mishra. Anubhav, please.
First of all, good evening, everyone. Hello, sir. And
Well,
I want to thank you to all my teachers and all the management staffs who have shown faith in me for this opportunity. Of course, thank you everyone for that. And hello, sir. First of all, thank you so much for coming to us to share your valuable insights. Let's not directly jump into the main parts. Let's just start with a little thing that I think as a student we find it very difficult to choose that what do we want to do in future. Was it difficult for you, sir, to make a decision that you want to pursue your career in this field?
okay. At the outset, first, let me just, thank you all for giving me this opportunity. And I think special thanks to Dhyan Chavan as well, because I just spoke to him yesterday about we probably are talking after a gap of 20 years or so. He happens to be my batchmate in my engineering. And then today I'm here, talking to you all. So that's one thing. I think it was a very interesting question. I mean, the question of whether I had a difficulty in understanding, where would my career go, right? I mean, the kind of decision. See, I will say that, the world has changed a lot. I mean, during our times and, this particular time, I mean, obviously, a lot of opportunities, not that opportunities were not there at that time, but the kind of, world we were living in was completely different. And I'm sure you all understand that. But incidentally, my youngest son has just completed his BBA. So, and he did his CAT and all that. So it's all that experience is pretty fresh in my mind. Probably I can also speak a couple of points about that as well later on. Now, the question that you've asked, honestly speaking, it was not that easy a decision in those times. See, during that particular time for us, it was always like, see, I come from Andhra Pradesh, now it's Telangana and Andhra. And the college that I studied, the engineering college, it was affiliated to the Sri Venkateswara University, which is in Tirupati. During those times, my branch was electrical engineering. See, computers was hardly anything at the time. IT was just making its inroads. So we passed out in 1993. Okay, so you can say it's almost a generation back. But for us, in engineering, I mean, from a branch perspective, since I was from electrical, for us, the natural is to get into the electricity board. Every state has got its own electricity board and all that. But a chance entry of well, why some of my friends were actually writing an admission test for MBA. And so I just joined them because we wanted to take that as an opportunity to go to Tirumala temple, take the staircase. Without any preparation, I just went in, I wrote that MBA exam, entrance test, and I completely forgot about it afterwards. So when the results came in and then everyone was talking about it, I mean, that time, see, SV University, Tirupati, it was one of the good colleges. I wouldn't say the best college. It was one of the good colleges. And people from Bangalore and Chennai and Hyderabad used to come and write that. There were only 30 seats and there was no local quota there. So it was considered to be a little difficult to get. And I did not even have my hall ticket at that time, and I was searching for that. So eventually, I found out that one of my other friends, along with me, Sanjeev Dwivedi, so Jan Chavan can remember Sanjeev, the guy. He and I actually were selected. So I went to the group discussion and all, and I got admission, but I did not join that because my Indian results were not declared at that time. So that is how I decided that okay, probably from engineering, maybe I should get into MBA because I probably was pretty good in terms of this, the data analytics and all that. Then I prepared for CAT and I got admission into being Business Institute of Management, which was in those days eighth best management institute in the country. After the AMS, FMS, Bajaj and Accelerate and then Bharat. Today it's not that because a lot has changed. And I know the kind of institutes that you have in all, there's a world out there. So I would say that yes, it's definitely, but probably I was a little lucky that I had an opportunity to, get into that admission test and realize my potential. That okay, probably this is the area that I could get into. So today, I think there is much better career orientation, and you have got a lot of opportunities where you can understand, where do you want to see the kind of websites that you have. There was no internet. Now you understand the world without internet. Can you? So we were coming from those days, right? So I would say yes, certainly, but probably I also got a little lucky with this. Then I knew that okay, this is the area that I could get into. So probably I can say that yeah.
Sir, you talked about internet. So I was really curious. It was the question I reserved for later, but
Okay.
you've already tell. So world without internet, I know I cannot imagine, sir, because it's like 30 years back you're talking
World
about.
without mobile also. There were no mobile
Exact,
phones. Yeah.
exactly, sir. So, so sir, what were the distractions? Because in our generation, there are a lot of distractions that are directly related to internet. But in your time, as there was no internet and not mobile phones, were there any significant distractions that you faced in your school life or maybe in corporate also?
Definitely see whatever you have, distractions will always be there. Maybe the kind of distractions could be different, but see, for me at that time, see, I was into everything. Like I used to be in sports a lot. And then I was into those quiz clubs. I was a quizzer as well. I also, okay. So all those things were definitely distractions. And probably as my engineering, I don't think I've really done well. Okay, I just barely managed to get that 60%, 61% in that time. Today, that's hardly anything. But probably, as I said, since I've managed to get into a premier MBA, my career took on little well. Distractions, yes, but they may not be the kind of distractions that you are facing. And I would say a student's life today, with all this distraction, I think you guys are actually going through much more tougher times as than we were. I have to admit that. Okay, maybe my kids will not accept that I'm admitting something, but that's what it is.
Sir, so sir, how did you started your career with? Like you have once cracked, gave the cat and you realized your potential. So what was your initial step after that?
See, uh, basically, yeah, obviously, we did my MBA. Then during that MBA, one thing is um, you have to understand what actually is your potential. As I said, I was not aware of that. Then when I joined this MBA, that was the time, people from my state, I mean, as I said earlier, I come from Andhra Pradesh, right? We have a lot of people producing IITs. That's pretty crazy in our states, in our two states. So only when I joined this MBA that I realized because I went into Tamil Nadu. It's a different state, southern part of us, right? So this is when I realized that probably we are very strong in math. So I mean, there are only two students who got all sent in the three. We had a trimester system, and then we got sent in all the three concepts. So that is when we realized, okay, what are the advantages that I have? I bring to the table. And at that time, as I said, IT was not pretty doing even the campus higher job that I got was probably around 3 or 4 times higher than what a TCS was offering in those days. So, but then 3 years down the line, the entire tables turned. By 99, 2000, IT started becoming, the go-to career. That is how even after around 7 years, even I changed my career. But before that, I was into proper sales. I worked for a cement company who have actually hired from the B school for the first time. I mean, and I had almost around people reporting to me who were 10 to 15 years older than me. So they were around 35 to 40 years of age, and I was just 25. And they were reporting to me. So the very important lesson I learned was you have to be maintaining a low profile. Try to understand what is the kind of knowledge that they have. They may be reporting to you, but they still bring a lot of value and knowledge. So you have to maintain your low profile and try to learn whatever you can from them. Okay, that's the most important thing. That lesson that I took in the initial stages of my career.
Okay. So, sir, as I was, I saw the message that you are coming, and I saw there were a lot of countries that you have been visited and part of like your operations. And so, what kind of like different, cultural problems or anything experiences that you have faced, you might want to share with us?
For sure. So as part of my non-IT career, I traveled to France because I worked for Saint-Gobain Glass. I mean, we were given training in France and all that. Um, and that's part of Europe. But when I moved into IT, I mean, that's where my actual travel, across the world started. So the first project was for a project in Japan, and I went along with my boss. We traveled that, and then during the initial interaction with the customer, I'll tell you this is very important. Why you need to understand is that during the initial interaction with our customer, we're trying to understand the requirements. I'm sorry if I'm fast, but I hope I am legible. You guys can understand, right? Because
Yes, yes, sir.
okay, fine. So when we were interacting, the customer, obviously, strong Japanese, he has asked me a question, and since I knew the answer, I have immediately given him a response and how that particular problem could be solved and what was my approach. I expected to score some brownie points, okay, because I was very quick. But later I have come to know that he has spoken to my boss and he said that he feels that I was not the right person for the role, for the job, okay? And he asked him to replace me. You know why? Because he felt that I was not giving thought to their problem. I was jumping to answer. For them, it is very important that whatever they say, even if you know the answer, first think, you know, bring your thoughts and then respond. It is very important. Never jump to conclusion, even if you're right. And here the second question, second lesson is understand. Put yourself in my boss shoes. Generally, what would happen is it was a very prestigious customer. Now I can tell the customer was Casio. You all know Casio. It was a pretty important customer and Japanese customer, right? And in order to, his eagerness to, make the customer happy, he could have easily said yes, he would replace me, and bring in someone else, but he didn't do that. He put his foot down and he just very clearly said it was too early to make a call. And that is very important. I mean, you also need to have someone who can actually watch your back. Otherwise, what would happen is I could have been branded a failure and my career could have been completely different altogether. So never jump to conclusion, have some thought of whatever is being asked, and also do what you think is right for the organization, like how my boss has done. Instead of releasing the customer, he stood by it. So these are the two things that's very important. In Japan, again, the culture, you asked about the culture differences, right? In Japan, people slog like anything. Okay. And for them, they may be what is written in the document is not that important. Okay, I mean, you may say that, okay, the contract is signed, you have to, no, they will feel a little, what do you say, um, not strictly bound by the contract, but for them, relationship kind of thing is more important. And even if something is not mentioned there, they would still expect us to do. Those are the kind of things. And they always want us to think that we are giving importance to what they are talking and listening. So that's, and then they slog a lot. I mean, the people there, they used to travel. I used to live in Tokyo at that time. It's a pretty big city. So, even they would travel 1 to 2 hours again, but go back by 9:30, 10 in the night. And we also used to stay along with them because obviously you cannot go out when your customer is sitting there, right? So we used to slog. After 2 hours, 2 years in Japan, then I moved to Europe. And that's a completely paradigm shift. There, by 5 p.m., you cannot see a person there. Nobody's breathing there. And I used to sit till 6 and then leave. I used to feel guilty. I mean, I'm leaving so early. And on Friday, by 3 o'clock, nobody is there in the office. But they work with a lot of efficiency. Even if they put in 6 hours, that 6 hours they work with a lot of efficiency. This is very important. I mean, that's a kind of. And then in US and Canada and North America, again, it's a kind of a mixed bag. I mean, depending on how situation. So we have to adapt to these cultures. I mean, initially you may feel it's a little difficult, but then definitely we can. But for us, I can say one for Indians, we generally tend to speak a little fast English. That is one thing they find problem. I mean, see, accent. Understand one thing in communication, accent is not important. Accent is never important. Communication is you have to ensure that what you're talking, your other person is understanding what you're saying. Okay, it doesn't matter what kind of accent. You may have a North Indian accent. I may have a South Indian accent. Anything. Even those Europeans have very horrible accents. Sorry, pardon my
Yes.
language. It is very difficult for you if they are from Eastern Europe. You cannot understand them. But you have to be slow, and then ensure that you are understanding what they're talking and they are understanding what you're talking. So that is again a very important lesson because when you go to the other countries, speak slowly, automatically things will fall in place.
Sir, there's a follow-up question, of
Yep,
course. There are two parts of this question, all right, sir.
yep.
Like you have been in so many countries other than India. The one country that you would choose, in which you have, of course, the one country you would choose for the best, the best corporate life you have lived, and other than the corporate, the best life you have lived in any of the country except India that you have enjoyed the most.
Okay. Probably I would choose Canada. The reason is because you mentioned where I've enjoyed my life, right? One, Canada was a place where I was living with my family, and because my family also came there. And two, I got an opportunity to, because I was living there, and I got an opportunity to pursue my other interest. I was a good badminton player, and we were playing cricket as well there. I mean, probably in Canada, that's one area where Bangladeshis, Pakistan, Sri Lankas, Indians all combined together, and we used to play
Yes,
cricket as buddies, very good buddies. Okay, because that is cricket used to unite all of us. And
awesome.
there, the city that I used to live in, there was a university. There's a stadium inside the university, and they used to block 4 hours just for cricket. That entire stadium used to be, blocked for that. And we used to play cricket indoor because the weather was pretty heavy. I mean, in that particular place, I have even seen minus 40 degrees temperatures. So, but I got very good time for myself and to pursue my additional career. So probably Canada is one thing I can give. That again, I mean, I was living in a city where Indian population was not much. I was living in St. John, not the usual Toronto's or the Calgary and all where, you may not be having that time because you'll also have to commute a lot. So yeah, that's your answer.
So, sir, as you talked about cricket and badminton also, so is there any player in this world that have impacted your mindset, especially in the leadership area? Because you are the CEO of many things. So is there any athlete or anybody, any player that have impacted your mindset?
Okay, so it's a good and tough question for me to answer. The reason is so I am so passionate about sports that I can talk to you about one person in every sport. Okay, but I would say now that I've mentioned about badminton, I can say Gopi Chand. Okay, I'm not
Yeah.
sure how many people. Pullela Gopi Chand is one guy that I can talk about. See, for me, why he's important is that there are two for every sports person. There are two parts. One is your playing time, and the second one is your after playing time. In cricket, you have seen a lot of people, coming into the commentary and all that. They're obviously making money and all. But this guy, what he has done is, even when he was pretty active while he was playing, he had a couple of injuries and all that. He immediately moved on to getting into coaching because what he realized is that the infrastructure that we have in this country for preparing more number of players is pretty low. So he got into the coaching and the academy that he has created and all. He has gone through a lot of troubles because when he won the All England Championship, every politician named the birth promised him a lot. But when he really went back to them, saying that he would like to set up this, and he faced a lot of troubles. But eventually he did, and today we know how the badminton thing is today. I mean, it is basically, I would say, a lot credit should go to him because the kind of number of players that have come in. And today, even doubles where it was, we never thought that we can actually be a top badminton doubles player. Today, the current players actually, they were former world number one as well. So I would say that's an important thing, for anyone. And the kind of discipline that he has lived with. I will tell you, when he was pretty active at that time, both Coke and Pepsi have offered him a lot of dollar value
Sponsor.
rupees for
Yeah.
sponsorship, but he refused to give his time for them because he said that he himself personally does not belong in those particular drinks because they're not good for health. He said even if I'm getting money, I cannot be sponsoring a particular brand which I personally do not believe in. Okay. How many people would be doing that? You have today a lot of celebrities even endorsing pan paraks and all. I don't want to get into a controversial thing, but that's a way. So that's an important thing. Okay. It's like you're walking the talk, you're living by the example that you want to lead your careers. Okay.
Sir, is there any one thing that like you absolutely love about your job? Like if you wake up and you have to say like you have to do this and you'll be dancing around. Oh yes, I'm going to do this today. So is there anything in your job especially?
Okay. So my job, uh, see, in my okay, right now, I've just joined a startup, but so that I may not be enough, no, much to talk about. But the previous one where I was handling a very large portfolio, um, I uh, I was the ERP head, and then the 4,000 employees all over the world, reporting to me. It's a big one. So here I have customers right from Australian time zone to Canada, North American time zone. So we can have escalations, we can have meetings at every part of the time and all that. And then we got, since there's a lot more number of people and all, uh, interactions with employees is one thing which I would always love. I used to say that, my leadership style is leadership with empathy. That's what I have coined for myself. Because see, you have to understand that, in the leadership, it is not just giving direction. You also need to be sometimes, working along with them. Sometimes you may just give direction, and sometimes you can just tell them what is expected out of it. As a leader, you're not expected to be everywhere. Otherwise, then nobody can become a CEO or something. Okay, you have to start delegating your work as well. The art of delegation is very important as you grow up the ladder because the roles that you play, you would be interacting with so many people. So delegation is very important. Now, the one that I would absolutely love is obviously I interact with people. Interaction is what. And sometimes what happens is when I meet them the second time, I would be asking them a couple of personal questions of what they would have told me earlier. Someone I could be asking them how his son or daughter was doing, or someone I could tell them, they had gone to a particular place, how was it and all. But then they will think that okay, this guy even remembers these things. So automatically, what will happen is a kind of respect and bond will grow. Okay, so they would be ready to do whatever you tell them. So that's a kind of thing. This is very important to have that kind of personal touch. While it is not easy to do for several people, but at least as long as you're trying to, inculcate that and then giving the feeling to the employees that okay, he does care for us, that will make a lot of difference.
So, sir,
Anubhav, just a
yes, sir.
second.
Yeah.
I, you allow me to prompt on one point?
Yes, absolutely, sir.
Okay. Srinivas,
Yep.
uh, university is facing a challenge, and it's a pretty unique challenge that the education which they are giving to the people, especially MCA students, BCA students, and students do well also there. But when students go out in the corporate, there they find that what they studied is not what is
Hmm.
needed by the company.
Hmm.
So then what they do, they join some private institute and do some certification in Oracle or this Java or this or that. There is a big gap between education and employability. So they are educated, but they are
Hmm.
not employable.
Hmm.
Now, on the other hand, I see stalwarts like you who are working on the issue of employability,
Hmm.
where you make a person such that he is valuable for the industry and he holds worth for industry to have him. Can you take the entire group through that whole model, how it works, and what are you trying to do in your startup so that this university can have a hang of what is available to them in terms of because right now they don't even know what they don't know actually. Situation is like that. They
Okay.
don't know what they don't know. So if you can take 5, 10, 15 minutes to understand to make them understand what is your product, that will be very grateful of you.
Yeah. Definitely. So as I said, I have now joined a startup. Basically, I wouldn't say it's a real startup because The product development has already been done. I joined my friend's company who have for the last 4 5 years developed a product which is for the corporates as well as for the college. In fact, it started off with the corporate, wherein they've come out with an AI-based assessment tool. Okay, it generates assessments and it is also proctored. Proctored is like how you have, today if you go and take a GMAT exam, uh, along with in front of the camera, even if you cannot make all tabs and you cannot just move your head here and there. So it'll figure out all that. It will be completely proctored. So there's nothing called cheating or something can be done. Today, one of the issues that a lot of this industry in hiring they're facing is that there is a lot of fake candidates also are coming in the picture. So that is one area. And this tool, what it does is when you upload your profile or when you're actually giving the job description, it will start generating the assessments across the multiple modules that are required. And it will be adaptive in nature. Like adaptive means as you start asking questions, I mean, as you answer questions, it will become more and more tough. So that it will be adaptive in nature. And if it is to the corporates, they can have share this link to the prospective employees, and then they can take this link and then according to their results, they can actually shortlist and then move on to the next level. Then we have actually extended this to the colleges. What we have done is, for now, what we have only done for the engineering and the IT related modules for the students who are, their second, third, and fourth years. What this does is it will help them if they give their profile and their skills that they are interested in. It will generate the assessments and they can also mention which are the companies that they are targeting and the kind of roles that they are targeting. So we have got a list of lot of database. What are the kind of questions that could be asked in the campus hire programs. So a lot of these corporates, what they do is they have this written test for the campus hiring and all. So we have that we lot close to around 100 SMEs who have worked with us in creating this, and it is also AI based. It generate the assessments and it will also give the learning path based on the results. After that, they can go again learn wherever, what depending on the path, and they can come back and then start giving the assessments. So as over a period of time, they can see how it is their scores are improving. Today, corporates, what they're doing is a lot of corporates have stopped going to the campuses. They are actually using platforms like Superset or something like that. And it's a lot of hiring also happens off campus. So this test, it will help them to score much better. And depending on the score, now they are actually rated and the salary brackets also are changing depending on what score it is. So this is where this tool is coming into the picture. And we are right now signing up with colleges and we charge a subscription to the students and all. So that is how this is. Now, why it is advantage is that because see, we are again now representing the corporate side of the world, right? And we know when we take students when the campus, when they get the freshers, for us also the freshers, they are given some basic induction programs and then they are given to the respective departments. And what we see is that even though they would have probably studied, what is expected in the corporate is slightly different. And then every time the corporates are actually expected to again train. So they spend a lot of time on training. So by the time this particular employee who is a fresher becomes billable, it is anywhere between 6 months and 1 year, depending on the kind of the department. If it is a ERP, it will take longer time. If it is the digital and all, probably it will be much lesser time. So this tool is actually aimed at improving the scores for the students. That is how this is. All this is what we have designed this.
So in layman terms, let me say I'm a student of BCA in DSPSR.
Okay.
I will take a subscription.
Hmm.
If you can drop the name of your site on the chat box, so everybody has it now. After I take the subscription, I will enroll for a particular skill course.
So yeah, so what
Is
it
that
is
right?
is correct. So depending on which year you are, you'll have to mention your skills and basically what are the skills that you are interested in. And if you mention which are the target companies that you're looking at,
Hmm.
accordingly, it will start generating the assessments. Because see, of a particular role in Accenture is different from the same role in probably a TCS or a product company. Okay,
Hmm.
so we this particular tool it will generate the assessment accordingly.
So let
So
us say,
the
I want to work in Genpact or
okay,
Tech Mahindra. Let us
yeah,
say Tech Mahindra. It's tech organization, and I decide that I want to go in the direction of Salesforce. Let us say. Now I take your course. Then your course tutors me by various levels. If when I cross easy level, it takes me to next higher level. Then when I cross that level, it takes me to further next higher level. Then I cross that level, then it takes me to further higher level. Okay. And then eventually you say that course is complete and this is your score. And then I take that score to Tech Mahindra to say that I have done this from this place and my proficiency level on Salesforce is this and my employability will be high. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, employability will be high definitely because see, you not taking that score is what we're taking is with this knowledge that you have equipped now by going through this, you would be better in a position to fare in the written test that they are going to conduct or anyone is
Okay.
conducting. Okay, so that is the thing. We are actually preparing you well for the written test that they are going to conduct, and it would be much more closer to what the corporates are looking at.
It's an online coaching institute.
It's not an online coaching. Online coaching is completely different. Yeah.
Huh?
So this is a more personalized one because one, you have to upload your profile and
Hmm.
your skills that you are looking at, and you can mention the corporate because we have tie up with a lot of corporates and all.
How do you get to know what will Tech Mahindra ask or what are they looking for
So
or what would
yeah,
Accenture ask? What are they
so
looking
there
for?
are two things. Basically, there are two things. One, we have worked with a lot of SMEs who were employees of these corporates. Number one, so they have created a lot of this question like. And two, we also use the AI-based one. There are prompts which are inbuilt into this. It will automatically fetch at the runtime the kind of questions that are there. So there are two things that are coming into the picture, and then the assessments are generated. And since they are adaptive in nature, e- once you write it, the next time, I mean, if you score 20% today, then probably next time if you're scoring 30%, then you have improved. Okay, that's where, I mean, the questions could be different, but still, as long as you're scoring higher, that means you're actually in automatically moving to the upper level. This is how a typical adaptive exams, like today NMAT, I think you guys are BBA students, so your NMAT exams are also based on this adaptive nature. GMAT is like that. For example, even the chess, tournaments are conducted based on this, depending on who you are winning against.
Would you be okay with an MOU with uh, DSPSR or GGS IPO where you open your platform to the students and the students pay for it?
Definitely, we can definitely work that out.
Okay. Because then we can share what kind of companies, especially on the IT side, I would say, because
Yeah.
this is an IT stuff and
So
on the
besides that, we also have for the soft skills as well. So those are things are also incorporated because a lot of companies also look for that in their written test. They also ask for the soft skills questions as well. The modules will be there.
like
Yeah, basically on the communication and other things. The the generic one, they look at how communications and all those things.
do you also do
All
psychometric
the soft
profiling?
skills aspect. Some of the so we have modules as in that as well.
So basically, you sharpen the student. If I
Yes.
summarize, you
Yeah.
sharpen the student
Yeah.
to get job very fast.
See, I'll tell you now that you mentioned this. Uh, Allow me, I can just take one small
Please.
example from my. I told you that my second son has just finished his BBA. In fact, probably I know he's not listening to me, so I can share his experience. He is actually he's part of that IFT Delhi. They have opened an IPM. He's the first batch of that IPM, and there's a campus they have opened in Kakinada, which is in Andhra. only 40 students. All the students have come from all over India. They have written this. IIM Indore has conducted that test and all. Now, it's a BBA plus MBA, but you have an option of an exit after BBA. If you want, you can write CAT and go to some other institutes as well. Just 40 students. And those people, what they were doing is they were actually rating the students in that their GPA was basically on a percentile. It's not on percentage. So he may have scored 70 or 80% in those exams. But because they are using the percentile logic, if he is 90th or 20th among those 40 students, his GPA would be 2 out of 4.
Oh.
Okay. Now, what has happened was this boy, his GPA is 2 out of 4. The students may be 40 from all over. In fact, he is probably one of the toppers there when he joined this institute. But still, now with this CAT form does not have that correlation. All it has is 2 out of 4. It is linearly converting it and it's taken it as a 50%. So his graduation marks, it reflects as 50%. Okay. This boy, his CAT score was 99.38 percentile, but he still did not get the top 5 IIM calls. So there's a lesson here for everyone. First, we need to understand what is in our hands, what is that we can do, what is that we cannot do. We don't have any control on the way your college is rating you. That's not in our control. It's unfortunate. But what is in our control is study well, give seriousness to these your internal GPS also. Okay. If his this because of this, he has missed out on a good top pay school. Okay, now I have asked him to work for a couple of years and again write for CAT next time again. But I think this should be a very good example and learning for every student. Because in fact, one of the other sessions, as part of our one of my other sessions, I was addressing a class of students, probably undergraduate. They were also going for CAT and all. So one of the students asked me a question. In today's world of this Chat GPT and the Google, why do we need to learn so much? Why do we need to learn so much? Anything that we know, we can get it. I also asked one question. When you go in for an interview, the interviewer is asking a question. Will you tell him that I'll Google and find out the answer? No. This is probably helpful to you when you already have a job, and for executing that job, probably you can take the help of these things and then do it. But to get into that, you have to go through these other hurdles. You have an interviews, you have group discussions, you have a selection process. Unfortunately, today, all these competitive exams, they are not selection process. Guys, you need to understand the difference. They are elimination process. They are the person who's sitting there for half an hour trying to interview is going to make a lot of difference. I'm just taking an example of this CAT only because you guys are all BBAs. I'm sure you all must be writing a CAT, right? Getting into the MBA schools. But he's going to determine in that 30 minutes your future. Because what he's doing is he's seeing several other hundreds of students like you. He is not selecting you, he's only eliminating you. You don't give him an opportunity to look for the negatives. Selection means when you are looking for lateral hiring, you want to see for the persons what are the strengths that he brings to the table, what is it that I can make use of his strengths and where I can utilize him. With that thinking, I actually select the candidate. Here, it is all elimination. They may call it a selection process. Understand this. I want all the students to understand this difference. So you have to prepare yourself when you go for your group discussions and interviews. The more knowledge that you have on a particular topic, the more you can talk. You may be great in English, you may be great in accent, you may be excellent in communication skills. But if you sit there in a group discussion, the topic that is given to you, if you don't understand that topic, what will you talk? Right? You lose your marks. Similarly with the interview. And my son, with his 39.8 percentile in CAT, he could not get into the top IIMs. Now you understand. And he's not an engineer. You know that how, because engineering students, there's a disadvantage. The way how this CAT and MBA admissions are going on today, right now. It's like, they call it as, there's a word that I use, it's a funny word, diversity in education. Okay, so if only it simply says that if you're an engineer, you lose marks. If you're a non-engineer, you get there's a +2 there. Very simple to put. And then there is a diversity. If you are a girl student, you get additional 2 marks and all that. Fine, we cannot question them, right? We cannot question them on that, whatever logic they have used. But the end result is that we have to sit in the interview, we have to sit in the group discussion. So please read your newspapers or whatever it is, gain that knowledge that is very important for you. And don't tell that, there is Google, there's a chat GPT, I can use that to win. That is not going to help you in when you're sitting there in group discussion or interviews. I try to tell this to my son. He did not, now he has understood it. But anyway, I hope he'll understand it better now. Okay.
Can you drop your website
Yeah,
address on the chat box so that students can go through it, see it?
sure.
Do you also have tie-up with corporates where you say that perfectskills.in, we got it, yes.
Yeah.
Do you also
Like
have
this product, we call it a skill lens. That's the product we have for
okay.
the corporate. We have, yeah, tell me what we do have tie-ups with the corporates, and that's for because some of the offerings that we give to them in terms of panels, and then and also for their assessment tools of that. That is how we have tie-ups with.
So one question I had was,
Hmm.
do you also have tie-up with corporates where you say that this is a pool we have of A plus category resources who have crossed our exams, and please have a look at them.
Okay, so currently that particular one we have for the lateral hiring. But for the campus and college, we'll have to do that. That's because what we have done is right now we are actually going through the colleges and the universities. And our next phase is to get into the B2C, that is direct for the students. There are a lot of students who have actually passed out, engineering students I'm talking about predominantly, but they are some of them have not landed the job. So that particular student list we are actually trying to cater to by getting into this B2C. We have got a payment gateway and all. We are working on that. So then that is what we would be getting into. At this point of time, yeah, I mean for the students, for the university that signing up, uh, that can be definitely a natural extension later. So after I've joined, now I'm trying to extend this. So this is where I am coming to the picture to take this offering at the next level.
Okay, so let me put a hypothetical situation. Let us say I am a student of BCA at DSPSR. I take a program and learn, let's say, again, ERP, let us say, for example. Okay, enterprise resource planning, and then I work somewhere for 2 months, 3 months, and then again I take a program. So I'm a lateral hire, right? Then you can recommend me to someone. No, I'm just thinking aloud. I mean,
Yeah,
then I
it
become a
doesn't
lateral
work
hire,
that
right?
way. Yeah, yeah. But you know how the world is today. Yeah.
Okay.
In any
And
case, ERP is not a good example because ERP is a pretty mature product. I mean, they expect very senior people, right? That's 30 years, 25 years old. But in digital technologies, where you have a new technology coming every quarter, that's where most of the students will have
see, I'm
better.
an HR
Yeah,
guy, so I
yeah.
just picked up what I know. I
I
mean,
know, I know, I know. Yeah.
and over to you. I'm done.
Thank you so much, sir. As we don't have so much time left, sir, but there's one question which I truly wanted to ask you from the starting of this session, that you have achieved so much, financially, emotionally also, and how is this? Don't you find this? Don't you find this like very hard to keep that hunger inside of you? Because after achieving so much, you are still on a startup. So how isn't it very difficult for you? Like I have everything, you wake up one day and like I have everything. Why don't I need to work today? But you still choose up to do that work. So isn't it very like difficult for you?
So you're making it so simple that as if I've achieved everything. Let me tell you, nobody would be achieving everything. Okay. But this is another thing that you need to understand when you're speaking. Okay. But then words like everything and all, they are a big no. You have achieved a lot, is what you can say, but not everything. Sorry for saying
I
this,
have
but
my
this is
rights.
how people, would tell, right? See, even Bill Gates has to do something, right? I mean, so even you know what's happening. So I don't think anyone can say that, okay, I've achieved everything or I've achieved a lot. That's enough for me. The second thing is the hunger. Yes, that's what is the self-motivation that one needs. It can be anything. See, today, probably my motivation first, so I can have priorities. My priorities may change over a period of time. Starting of my career, my priorities were probably just to please my boss and do a better job. Then probably to, get a higher salary as possible and those kind of things. Once that, then you start your every individual, you want to buy a car, you want to buy a house, and once you settle, then you start looking for your children education and all that. And then your priorities change. Suppose even if you want to buy a very nice car, you're probably thinking that, okay, no, you need to take care of your schools, your children's education. So your priorities change. The same person is not changing. His priorities are changing depending on the situation he or she is in, right? So similarly, the motivation always depending on what you set your priorities at. At this stage, probably for my first priority is to reduce weight, right? That was
Yeah.
not possible. I mean, but the kind of crazy life I was living, I mean, right from morning 7 a.m. probably I could go up to 12 a.m. and all, and because that's the need of the hour, and you have to take care of certain things. So the priorities will change, but it is one who has to decide what is the priority for him or her at that particular time, and then work towards it.
Sir, any one tip, like no, one not tip. Tip is not a good word for it. Like one advice, yes, one advice you want to give to the whoever is joining and wanted listened you till right now. Only one advice you wanted to give everybody in this world. What would be that advice?
Everyone in this world, or everyone in the students, are you asking?
No, sir. Everybody, because we have like teachers also. We have
Okay.
many ones. So one advice from you.
Your advice will be the same, na? Whether it is to the world or to the group.
See, one thing I would like to say is that we would be chasing lot of goals in our life, but when you go back to bed, just think that you have not hurt anyone, or in the process of chasing that goal, you have not done anything that is bad, that is considered bad by the others. As long as you are trying to do that, okay, to the extent possible. I'm using the word to the extent possible because I know the way the world we are living in, it is not going to be possible. We cannot be saints. We have to be competitive as well, but it should not be at the cost of someone else. Treat your life as a 100 meters race. Don't treat your life as a football game where you have to snatch the ball from others. Okay, treat it as a 100-meter race. You run in your own track. Things will automatically fall in place. You don't need to put others down for you to grow. Okay,
I think
that's the example that I would like to give.
Dr. Sugandh Raval has a question. She has put her video on. Dr. Sugandh, you have any question?
Still in your-
She's on mute, I think. Let her on mute. Anyone in the forum, if have any questions for Srinivasa, because we are touching the closing time.
Yes, sir. I want to ask a question from you. So we are using ERP at our college. So how can we integrate emerging technologies like AI or analytics in our ERP system?
Okay. See, the college, so ERP, I mean, what you use in your colleges, it would be at a very low level. I know they could be calling that as ERP. Okay, it is probably designed to suit some of the modules of your college. And whatever that particular ERP provider that you have, you can, whoever is owner of that, they can definitely work on uh, developing some interfaces to put it on the AI based tool. But the first thing that you need to understand is which are the areas that you actually want to incorporate. Suppose if you have a problem statement in one area, suppose you are not able to capture your attendance properly, or the assessment that we discussed about. Suppose if you want to have uh, they generate assessments for your students. Okay, and incorporate this AA part of it. So those are the areas that you can understand. First, think about which are the areas that you would like to do it, and the persons or people who have delivered this ERP to you, they can help. Or in fact, even my company also, no, we can also work in depending on what is the problem statement that you have. Accordingly, we can try to work out. We have some solutions on that. We can definitely work on that. I don't want to try to sell my organization here. I want to. That's the last thing I want to do. But that's what I want to say. So first step for you is identify the need. Don't ask the consultant to come and tell you what is your need. Then he will sell everything under the sun to you. Don't do that. First, among your team members, your core team members, you decide what is it that you want to work on. Then discuss with them.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can I ask a little, kind of a favor, kind of a question, sir, please?
You can ask anything, and if
Uh,
I know the answer, I'll tell you. If I don't know, then probably I'll have
sir,
to go back to you.
sir,
Yeah.
sir, if you want to give me feedback, because this was the first time I've done something like this. So if you want to give me any feedback, no sugarcoating, nothing. Like absolutely, if you want to criticize me, it's also
Feedback
okay.
on the way you've conducted the session. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Communication skills, because sir.
Yeah.
Was,
No, you're pretty good. Anubhav, I think you're pretty good. I have to be honest with that. Okay. There's nothing that I could find anything. As I said, some of the words you have to choose your words, but I mean, you guys are too young for this. These are the things that we tell to our employees in the corporate world. When you're communicating, probably I can say one to everyone. I've already told you what, according to me, is a good communication. It is not about good English or good accent. It's about you have to ensure whatever you want to speak that your opponent has understood. Okay. Similarly, you do a lot of written communication, right? Even you do sending emails and all that. One suggestion that I would like to give to you is all of you, when you write an email, after you type everything, before you click that send button, please read your email once again. If you do that, 90% of the grammatical mistakes would be taken care of. Always remember this. It's not that you guys are poor grammatically. No, you all know what it should be. But what happens is when you're typing, you know, this word in Hindi, right? Jaldbaz, right?
yes.
In your hasty, you would be typing things. But always remember, the other person who is reading this, he has a world of time for you to read your email. And what he will think is, this guy has not even given any time to this. Or he's so poor in English that he'll start developing possessions about it. So always remember this, whatever you type, before you click that send button, read that email once again. Second thing is never send an email when you are very angry. Suppose your mom scolded you, okay, your elder sibling scolded you, and you had to submit an assessment or something, or you are writing some email to him. In that anger, don't click the send button. Or you want to fight with your boss, you can put everything that has come to your mind in your thoughts in that email, but keep it in the draft. Go back after one day, read that email once again. Now you decide whether you really want to send it or not. The world would have changed. 99% problems would be solved if you do this. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, I think Ishita ma'am want to say something.
Okay. Any questions from our participants? Please feel free to ask. Am I audible, Anubhav?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, sir. It is my honor and privilege to extend the vote of thanks on behalf of Delhi School of Professional Studies and Research for today's enriching session on leadership development. First and foremost, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed session speaker, Mr. Srinivasa Rao Kunchala sir, for taking the time to share your vast knowledge and invaluable experiences with us. Your insights into enterprise leadership, strategic transformation, and global delivery models have truly inspired and enlightened us. We are immensely thankful for your gracious presence and the wisdom you have imparted today. We are also grateful to our Honorable Professor D.P. Singh Sir, Honorable Senior Professor Ajay Kumar Singh Sir, and respected Director Professor Dr. Mahesh Sharma Sir, and respected Dhyan P.S. Chauhan Sir for their constant encouragement and leadership, which continue to shape the SPSR into a vibrant center of learning and innovation. A sincere thanks to our moderator, Mr. Anubhav Mishra, student of BBA 5th semester, for skillfully guiding the session with such confidence and clarity. Your thoughtful engagement and smooth coordination helped make today's event impactful and seamless. To all our distinguished faculty members, thank you for your support and for always encouraging student-driven initiatives such as this. Your mentorship fuels students' ambition to keep learning and growing. To all our participants, thank you for joining us from various locations and bringing such enthusiastic energy to this event. Your curiosity and eagerness to learn make these sessions truly meaningful. Last but not least, heartfelt appreciation to the organizing team behind this session. Your dedication and efforts from planning to execution deserve every bit of applause. As we close today's event, may the ideas and knowledge shared continue to inspire us all in our journey towards becoming thoughtful, responsible, and effective leaders of tomorrow. Thank you once again, and we look forward for seeing you at our next session. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ishita.
Srinivas.
It was nice
Thank you,
talking to you. Yeah,
everyone.
it's a great opportunity for me as well to interact with all of you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, dear. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Mr. Srinivasa.
thank you so